conversation. Defender says, I felt much better on vegan and gluten-free. I feel better eating vegan because my conscience is free. I don't have on my conscience this urgency, like you're paying for animals to be murdered, you're paying for animals to be exploited. How can you say that you're against exploitation when you're paying for it to happen? How can you say that you're against slavery when you're paying for it to happen? Cheese is super weird, Amber. Like, cow milk in general is super weird. Where did we get the idea that cows make milk for us? Super weird. Imagine doing that to your cat or something, bro. Exactly, I think it's fucking weird. Humans are animals. And I want you guys to know, I wasn't born vegan. You know, I was not born vegan. I was raised exploiting animals. I was raised to fish. I used to go fish and catch fish out of the water and pull them out of the water with this hook in their mouth. And so they were suffocating under the water, flapping around, and I would remove the hook and throw them back in the water. Or I would kill them right there and then eat them. So, you know, like, I'm not here, like, to claim that I'm perfect or whatever, far from it. I'm here to try and tell you guys what I wish somebody would have told me at that time. While the plant-based diet does have plenty of health benefits, like living longer on average, like lower risk of chronic diseases, veganism is a justice movement to end animal liberation. So being like the reason to go vegan is not your personal benefit. While it does have personal benefits, the reason to do it is because exploiting animals is wrong. Just like how, like, the reason to not be racist, it's not like, oh, I'm not going to be racist because I'll be more likely to get a job. No, you don't be racist because being racist is wrong. You know, some things aren't about how it benefits us. Guap says, I gave up meat 50 years ago because of guilt. If I can't kill them, why have somebody else do my dirty? It's a great question, Guaps. Guaps, are you vegan? Thank you, Jumping Money. Thank you very much. Guaps, I was vegetarian for 5 years before I went vegan. And then I learned about the animal industry, I learned about the egg industry, I learned about the dairy industry, I learned about the honey industry, which are all honestly worse than the meat industry. And they're all the same too. They're all connected, but you know, once I learned about all of those industries, I just came to the conclusion I have no good justification to exploit animals for any reason. I have no good justification to exploit animals for breast milk. You're lacto-vegetarian. Well, Guaps, let me tell you about the dairy industry. If you want, you can request to join and I'll have you up here. But learning about the dairy industry is kind of what kicked me off to start going vegan. The standard practice in the dairy industry, because cows don't just make milk because they're cows, mothers make milk to breastfeed their babies. So the standard practice in the dairy industry is to force the cow into pregnancy. They jack off the bull, collect the semen, force it into the cow, force her to be pregnant, and then when she has her baby, they take the baby away because the baby wants to breastfeed, and that wouldn't be very profitable to the dairy industry, right? Because we want to take that milk for us and sell it. And, you know, she's forced into pregnancy her whole life, over and over and over again. She's basically just a sex slave. It's really, really awful. You know, and if the baby is a boy, he's going to be killed for veal because he can't make breast milk. And if the baby's a girl, she's going to be a sex slave, just like her mother. It's really horrific. You're trying to go vegan, but it's hard. Well, Guaps, my dear, just think about it from the victim's perspective. Think about it from the animal victim's perspective. Because it's not hard to go vegan when you think about it from the victim's perspective. It's hard to be exploited for your breast milk. It's hard to be exploited for your ovulation cycle. It's hard to be murdered because you're a boy and you don't have breast milk or an ovulation cycle. You know, being vegan is easy. It's easier now than ever. She gets her baby stolen about 3 or 4 times, then she's so tired and sent to slaughter. It's exactly it. T. It's exactly it. Be vegan, not violent. Yeah, Sarah. It's true. Fly Fisher, why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? If your next comment is telling me why you believe that, I'll let you stay in here. But if you say something that's not explaining why you believe that most vegans have deficiencies, I'm gonna let you go. Don't even start with me, Wilder. All right, Dave, goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, so addressing the B12 question. Yeah, B12 was originally created in the bacteria and soil, but we've completely depleted the soil of nutrients from agriculture, specifically animal agriculture, over farming. So the soil has no more B12 in it. That's where we used to get it. You know, we would eat our fruits and veggies without washing them and get our B12 from the soil. Thank you, Chris. But now the soil is depleted. So, you know, you can just take a supplement now. And actually, do you know where 90% of the world's B12 supplements are going? They're being injected into the animals that we're farming to exploit, enslave, and murder. So if you're getting your B12 from the flesh of an animal that was farmed, you're taking a supplement. And you could just not do that and just take a B12 supplement yourself. And it's like think about it if this was any other animal. Like, because we've been conditioned to see farm animals like cows and pigs and chickens as our resources. So maybe think about if it was any other animal. If you had the choice to either take a B12 supplement or murder a dog and eat their flesh to get B12, what are you gonna do? Thank you, atheism. Welcome. Animal rights are important to me, but female reproductive rights are even more important. Well, Amber, you can care about both. You can care about both. And you know, they actually go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. They're one and the same. Because when you think about the dairy industry, the cow being forced into pregnancy to have her breast milk stolen, her lactation stolen, what about her reproductive rights? Amber, what about her reproductive rights? What about the chickens that are just being exploited for their ovulation cycle? What about their reproductive rights? These are females also that deserve basic bodily autonomy. You can care about both. Yeah, they do go hand in hand. Really, they go hand in hand. And honestly, a lot of the people that come in here and are completely disgusting to me and talk about assaulting me, the messages that I get, like talking about assaulting me or whatever, it's like, to me, it's like, okay, it's no surprise to me that you, the animal oppressor, the one that views other animals as here to serve you and benefit you, also see me, a woman, as somebody here to serve you and bring you pleasure. No surprise to me. They do go hand in hand. Exactly, Amber. It is rape culture. And this goes hand in hand with veganism too. I talk about this before. It is rape culture. Viewing the animal as here to serve us and bring us pleasure and thinking, okay, my personal pleasure that I'll get from eating this egg or eating this yogurt or eating this piece of meat, that is worth more than their right to their body. Rape culture. Because our personal pleasure doesn't justify violating anybody else's body. Josh says, do you think a top-down approach would be best, lobbying politicians to make factory farming illegal? I don't think so. I think stopping the demand is the only way. Right? This is how the market works, right? What you pay for is what's going to be put out. We create the world that we pay for. I think it's directly related to supply. It is, not I think, but it is directly related to supply and demand. And that's why, until you stop paying for animal products, until you decide to go vegan, you are responsible for animals being exploited and oppressed. Ed Sheeran, actually 90% of the world's B12 supplements are being fed to the animals that we're factory farming. B12 used to come from the soil, but we completely depleted the soil of its nutrients from over-farming. Well, Josh, if that's the approach you want to take, I think that you should totally take it. This is the approach that I find most effective for myself right now. I'm not about to get into politics. That's just not me. I think this is me. But if you want to go and do that, we need everybody to do activism, and I think that you should. That's why all of our activism matters. That's why all of our voices matter. That's why we all need to stand up for animals, like their lives depend on it, because they do. Guaps, do you want to come on in here? You can request to join the live. I'll let you in if you want to talk. Yeah, T, you could do either one. You could do both. You could do something totally different. You could, there's so many ways to stand up for animals. Yes, T, I agree. I agree, T. And I appreciate the videos that you make. If you want to do activism for animals, there's so many ways that you can do activism. You can do social media stuff like I do. You don't have to live stream. You can make videos, do stuff on social media. You can download and repost other people's videos. If social media is not your thing, you can get stickers. Leave some stickers around town. This is backwards for you, but it says, if your personal choice has a victim, it's no longer a personal choice. You can get some stickers and leave them around. There is no humane way to kill somebody who doesn't want to die. Whenever I go out, I bring some stickers with me, try to leave a trail. You can write notes. I do this a lot of the time. Sometimes you can write notes like, hey, you should stop oppressing animals because they feel like us and they don't deserve to be exploited. You could go vegan and stop oppressing animals. Yeah, graffiti, that's another way. I like to stand up for animals with graffiti, go and spray paint, liberate animals. Meat is murder, milk is molesting, dairy is rape, end animal oppression, end animal exploitation, stop oppressing them, go vegan. It's another great way, spray paint. Bring a Sharpie with you, leave a message in the bathroom. There's so many ways to stand up for animals, but the bare minimum is to live vegan so that you stop demanding with your dollar for animals to be oppressed and exploited and enslaved and murdered. Let's see. I'm gonna restart the stream. It's been going on for a while. I think